These can be really trying times for the entire world as we watch the number of COVID-19 cases climb. And I'm a sports reporter in central Pennsylvania. I joke, trying to make light of a very difficult situation, that I am now a sports reporter with no sports. So my role has changed, and I've been getting a lot of questions about what we are doing in media and what this situation has been like. And I can tell you, like everyone would tell you, it's been difficult, it's been confusing, it's been scary at times. And I'm just going to give you a little perspective about what it's like to do my job in local TV and what my role is as a local journalist, not just a sports reporter, but a local journalist, and what I'm trying to give our viewers every single night. So if that's something that you're interested in, just keep watching. So I've worked as a local TV sports journalist for the past 4 years. Right after I graduated college, that's exactly the job that I got. And I got into this business because I love telling people's stories. I love being a part of the community and getting to know all the different things that make a community special. And the best way I knew how to do that was through sports. Obviously, if you've been following the news at all, every single sport for the most part has been canceled. There are not fans in attendance. If there are events going on, people have turned from racing on tracks to racing on video games. It's just a very different time to be a sports reporter, but I never looked at myself as someone who needed to talk about sports to talk about big topics. I consider myself a sports journalist first, which means that I'm looking for all those stories that make our community special through sports. So I've actually found a bunch, and as this COVID-19 pandemic kind of hit newsrooms and everyone was trying to decide what their role is and what that looks like, I have stayed in sports, and I've largely stayed in sports because we are finding so much content at ABC 27 to still talk about sports and still give people a release. You know, there's so much of this news that we talk about every single day that's very important, but it can be very overwhelming if it's the only thing that you're hearing throughout the day. So I look at my role as a way to kind of breathe a sigh of relief, I suppose, try and distract you from maybe some of the more difficult parts of our day and just show you something fun and something funny and put a smile on your face while also showing how incredibly talented our athletes are here in my local area. And if you are watching this and you don't live in central Pennsylvania, I can tell you that your local news sports journalists are doing the same thing. They just want to put a smile on your face, give you a break, because that's what sports are for so many people. It's entertainment, it's a release. And that doesn't stop just because there are scary things going on. People are still out in their backyards, you know, passing a lacrosse ball, hitting a ball off a tee, getting ready for softball or baseball season. So these things are still out there. They just look a little different. And right now we're taking a break from some of the bigger events and kind of slowing down. So most of my role has stayed the same, but I have also transitioned into a news anchor role. My skills at the station are multi-purpose. I spend a lot of time in the studio, and I'm grateful that my managers above me saw a role where I could help fill in, bring our viewers half an hour of news every morning from Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. That's typically occupied by a lifestyle show where the hosts and the producers bring in a bunch of guests and they talk about what's going on in the community, but just due to safety concerns, they're not able to bring in those guests, so we decided to transition part of that lifestyle show into half an hour of news, and that's where I come in, and that's the role that I'm filling in on. And it's a pretty humbling experience to have your managers say to you, hey, sports reporter, come do half an hour of news. We think you can handle this, and we want to put you in that position. So I'm just about a week into that role. It's been different for me. I spent 3 months when I first got into the business just exclusively doing news. So I'm not, you know, a total news newbie, but I had never anchored a news program here at the station. So like I said, very humbling that they thought I could handle that. But I think that's kind of indicative of what everyone's doing at the station. Not everyone is anchoring a show. Not everyone is a meteorologist and they're giving you, you know, important weather updates, but all of our roles have changed. We're all adapting, and this is across the country, not just here at ABC 27. Your journalists, your local journalists are learning on the fly. We're changing the way we do things every single day. Today, when I'm not on camera, I am wearing a mask every single day at work. That's something that we decided here for the people who are not able to work from home. We wanted to keep each other safe by covering our faces and making sure that we are keeping a proper distance, but also not spreading anything. When I'm done here on the desk, I'm on the anchor desk right now, I take a disinfectant wipe and I wipe down anything that I touched, any bit of my area. You know, we're worried about keeping ourselves safe because we have to stay on the air to give our viewers important safety information and different updates, because like I said, everything is changing every 5, 10, 15 minutes, and we're the ones who are in charge of making sure you have that information from all the different officials across our country, in your local state, in your local municipalities and cities and towns. That's our job, and that's why we're considered essential. And while that's a really important job, and it's something that I do not take lightly, and I know all of my colleagues feel a great sense of responsibility for the information we're giving you, it's also been difficult, and I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I can say that these sentiments are echoed across peers and my colleagues throughout the entire local TV industry. We're scared too. We live in these communities. It's not like we live in a bubble where this doesn't exist. We're getting information that directly affects how our siblings and kids go to school. We're getting information about, you know, what our towns are doing to try and keep us safe. We live right next to you. We are your neighbors, and I think it's easy to forget when you see us on TV that, you know, we also have to figure out when are we going to go to the grocery store and how are we going to keep our families safe. And we're not able, most of us in local TV, to stay at home and work from home and try and quarantine as best as possible. Some people have to be in this building to make our news station run. We have to get our product on the air, and we can do that, you know, in a variety of different ways, and we've gotten more creative, but some people still have to come to work. And for me, it's been difficult. I'm scared, like most people. I know that I'm doing the right things to keep myself safe. My hands are drier than they've ever been, you know, washing and constantly worrying about touching my face and oh, did someone else touch that before I touched it? Let me, you know, go and wash my hands again. I'm staying away from as many people as I can. I'm trying to practice social distancing, and, you know, on the weekends and when I'm done with work, I go straight home and I take care of business there, and I'm not leaving to go do anything else. So I'm trying to do the same thing everyone else is, but that first couple weeks of this pandemic were nerve-wracking because I realized I'm in an essential job and my role doesn't change a whole lot other than we're getting more creative. So I don't want anyone who's watching this to feel like you're alone. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys in this format, but I figured it was an important time, and as my job is changing every single day, I know everyone's lives are changing, you know, on a dime. So we're all in this together, and I think it's important to remember that we're not going to be able to do this alone. We have to have everyone's support. Everyone has to be on the same page. And so in that sense, maybe sports reporters are the best prepared, and athletes and all that, because we're so used to working on teams. So now we just need the rest of the world to follow suit. I wanted to just give a little perspective. I think it's easy to forget that the people, the officials, the frontline heroes, the doctors, the nurses, the firefighters, the EMS, like, they're all people too, and those of us in media, we're people as well. So we're not trying to scare anyone. We're not trying to make this a bigger deal than it is. We're trying to give you information that you can use to keep your family safe and that you can use to decide what's best for your family. So I just wanted to humanize it a little bit. I think it's easy to look at those of us who sit on TV and forget that we are just like you, and we are trying to make the same decisions you are. So here at ABC 27, I can tell you my colleagues are working incredibly hard, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera, to adapt to this changing world and this changing situation. Most of our reporters are working from home. They're doing their interviews on video conferencing systems. They're putting their stories together, you know, totally remote and not coming to the station to try and minimize the number of people who are here. Our anchors, we're all working on single anchor scheduling. So when I anchor at 10:30 a.m. Every single day, I'm alone. We have a meteorologist who's here to do some weather, but he and I stay on opposite sides of this giant studio, which really is giant. So he and I never come within even like 15 feet of each other. So we're trying to do the best we can, and I can tell you everywhere across the country, every newsroom is trying to adapt and make sure that they're keeping their people safe while also setting a good example. So we're doing that here at ABC 27. I've been really grateful We're making really good decisions. We're prioritizing safety first for both our viewers as well as the people who work here in the building. And it's something different. Everyone is adapting to this at their own pace and making sure they're making good decisions. But I just wanted to show you that we're doing it as well and that we will continue to do so. I wanted to give you a little peek behind what happens when your job revolves around sports and they decide to postpone or cancel all sporting events for now we're going on a month. So it's been different, but it's been a good challenge, and it's kind of woken me up personally to realize what's important and what I actually need in my day, what is essential, and what can I do without. And I think that that's been really beautiful for a lot of people, to be able to kind of slow down and realize that keeping your family safe is most important, and then figuring out that, you know, the grocery items that I thought were essential, here's a workaround. Or did I really need to go to Macy's to buy that top, you know, today when I have 10 more tops in my closet? So I don't know, like you guys, I don't know how long this is gonna last. If it lasts a month, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna see a lot of repeat outfits. This is a favorite of mine. It's simple and it's plain. I'll change out the necklace for you, but it's a different time, and I think everyone's just adapting as they can, and we're doing that in local TV, and it's been pretty cool to see how fast people can change and how fast we can all learn to adjust our jobs and still be able to give important information now more than ever. We're doing more news now more than ever. We add a special show every single week. We're bringing in doctors and trying to give you all the information we can. So if you've made it this far, this is a weird video. This is definitely different, and I just, you know, it's been weighing on my heart to come talk to you guys and show you, you know, what we're doing behind the scenes, because it is so different and it is so new for us, and we're learning just like you are. So with that, thank you for watching. I'm gonna put my mask back on here. Shout out to my mom who makes these masks. She's made 140, and she's donated most of them to the Cancer Institute, or the cancer specialists who took care of my dad. So she's made 140 of these masks. Shout out to my mom. I love you. Thank you for mine. It's the only color in my outfit today, so I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, go ahead and like, subscribe. I'm posting more and more videos. I'm getting back to it now that I have a little more time. But thank you so much for watching.